Hi, it's Manic44 here, and today I invite you to the review of the ELAK12 replica, the AK-12 from E&L. Thanks Gunfire for lending me the replica for the review. Link to it in the video description. E&L is known for its all-steel constructions, which many players choose for their base gun for tuning. Looking at the model in front of me, I'm not too surprised, but I'm curious what you will think about it in the end of this review. So let's see what's in the box, how the replica is constructed outside and inside, and check its performance. But let's start with a little unboxing. The replica comes to us in a very elegant black cardboard box with a handle that can be used to carry the replica. Inside we will find a short manual and a quality control card, polymer magazine for about 140 BBs, a plastic oiler and a spare fuse, and of course the ELAK12 replica. Let's take a closer look at it. The ELAK12 is a replica of the AK-12. It measures about 70 cm with the stock folded to the side, 89 cm with the stock retracted, and about 95 cm with the stock extended. And without the battery it weighs over 4 kg. Unlike Arcturus AK-12, the ELAK-12 is almost fully made from steel, and as you can see from the magnets, there is not a lot of elements not made from this material. Made of polymer, we have only a handguard, a pistol grip, and a telescopic stock. The rear side base, cover wrist rails and the stock guide are made of aluminium, rest is all steel. All parts of the replica fit very well, and it's really hard to find any loose elements. Virtually every element sits tightly and requires a lot of effort to move it out of the place. Starting from the bolt cover, going through the pistol grip to the dummy gas pipe, we will not find any play at all, thanks to which the replica gives an impression of very durable construction. I found minimal play on the polymer front, but you have to try really hard to see it. Unfortunately, in my model, the monolithic nature of the replica is spoiled by a very loose stock and a play on the hinge of the folding stock. Additionally, I had 3 questions of if the replica is straight, and yes, it's straight as an arrow. The replica is rather easy to use, but I will show you a few things that are worth knowing. The replica has a 14mm counterclockwise thread hidden under the flash hider. In order to get to it, we have to pull the latch, enter the flash hider 180 degrees and remove it. Now we have to unscrew this element and we have access to the thread. The small Tamiya plug-in battery connector can be found under the cover. To get to it, pull the lever up and pull out the pin until it stops. Due to its construction, it does not come out completely. Now we can slide the cover to the back. There is not too much space under the cover, and I only managed to fit a Turnigy Nanotech 7.4 volts 1200 mAh LiPo. 11.1 LiPos that I have are too thick. As a standard, in AK series we have 3 selector settings: Safe, Auto and Semi. We will not find the burst mode known from the real steel counterpart. The selector itself has an additional tab, thanks to which it's easier to change the mode without taking your hand off the pistol grip. To change the hop-up setting, first pull the slide back where it will lock during adjustment. To increase the hop-up, move the slider to the left, and to decrease it, to the right. When you're done, just press the slide and it will pop out of the locking place and close. On the cover we have a wrist rail where we can install optics of our choosing. The replica has a vertically adjustable front sight and a vertically and horizontally adjustable rear sight. To adjust the rear sight horizontally, pull this knob and by turning it, we can see how the sight moves from side to side. The slider is used for vertical adjustment. Just squeeze it and move it forward or back. Polymer front has few wrist rails that we can utilize to install needed attachments. The polymer stock has 4 levels of adjustment and a place for push-down type suspension on both sides. The adjustment itself in my model is quite hard. To remove the buttstock, just pull this element away and slide the buttstock down. In real steel counterpart, there is a rifle cleaning kit in the stock. In Airsoft version we have a lot of free space here. The entire stock can be folded to the side by pressing this button. To unfold it, pull the hook down. We can also see that the replica has a quick spring change system, but unlike Arcturus, here we have to take out the whole gearbox to use it. To adjust the motor, we need to remove the bottom of the pistol grip and unscrew this screw. Adjust the motor itself with a small Allen key. The polymer magazine for 140 BBs fits without any problems thanks to the insert in the magazine slot. To release it, push the magazine release lever forward. If you want to use magazines from other manufacturers, it is possible that you will need to slim down the magazine clip a bit, as I did in this midcap from Seima. Otherwise, it will not fit in. Let's see how to disassemble the replica and what internals it got. I'll start with removing the cover. Just unhook this lever and pull out the pin, and the cover can be pulled back. Now it's time to disassemble the bolt. Move this element forward and unhook it. Now I can pull out the slide guide with the spring. Next I will move the slide back until I find a notch to remove it. Now you need to knock out this pin. To do it, first I have to put something in the hole at the bottom of the grip and push it hard. There is a spring that holds the pin. Now I can knock it out. Now it's time for the front grip. To make it easier to disassemble, I will unscrew the short wrist rails on the sides of the front. Only now it will be possible to slide the front forward. To split the two halves, they should be pulled apart halfway and the halves should separate. 10. Remove the insert in the magazine slot. It is held on two nuts that can be unscrewed with a flat screwdriver. The next point is to remove these two screws. Next, these two. After removing them, I can disassemble the entire barrel. It sits very tightly, so it can be a difficult task. To remove the hop-up chamber with the barrel, first I have to unscrew the screw that connects it to the gearbox. Now under a slight angle, I can pull out the entire set, consisting of a 475mm long, 6.04mm diameter precision brass barrel and a metal hop-up chamber. Now I will get out the gearbox. I'll start with disassembling the pistol grip. Just remove the cap and unscrew this screw. Now the whole grip should slide off. It remains to disassemble the fire selector. It holds on a plug that can be easily unscrewed with your fingers. Now I can remove the selector and this element. Now I can pull the gearbox up. While doing this, be careful not to let the gears fall out of the fire selector. The gearbox itself has a quick spring change system, which makes it much easier to work on it. Let's see what parts the manufacturer used inside. The metal spring guide has a bearing and a plastic cone. The spring itself is quite short and very hard, and has irregular strokes, so it should not lose power quickly. Steel gears with gear ratio of 18:1 are mounted on a 9mm ball bearings. The gearbox is quite well lubricated and the gears themselves are properly shimmed. The piston gear consists of two elements and has a plastic delayer. The pneumatic system consists of a plastic piston with 3 metal teeth and a directional piston head. Honestly, I was hoping for a piston with full metal rack. And a one-piece zero-type cylinder with an integrated cylinder head made from steel, which guarantees perfect seal. The plastic nozzle is approximately 20.69mm long and has one gasket. The tappet plate is made of quite flexible plastic. The whole thing passes the syringe test without any problems, both on the inserted nozzle and on the fully extended nozzle, which in my opinion is a great result. The gearbox shell has rounded corners of the cylinder window, which should reduce the likelihood of its breakage. The mounted motor is a high-torque Elm 170. We know what's inside, now it's time for chrono and shooting tests. The replica, in accordance with the quality control card, generates about 1.85 joules on 0.20 gram BBs and 0 hop-up. While testing, I once got a strange result, but I think it was the BB's fault because the result did not repeat. but the replica itself maintains about 440 FPS, that's 1.8 joules with occasional drops of maximum 6 FPS. Rate of fire on LiPo 7.4V is above 11 bbs per second. Using a 11.1V LiPo gives above 18 bbs per second. The replica can handle 0.28 and 0.30 gram bbs without any problems, but you can see a slight decrease in energy. I used GNG 0.28 gram bbs during shooting tests. At 30 meters it's not a problem to hit the target the size of a human torso, and the full auto spread is very small. At 40 meters hitting the target is still not too much of a problem, and the full auto spread is already getting a little wider. At 50 meters it's still not bad, most of the BBs hit the target, full auto spread remains at the similar level. At 60 meters it's still possible to hit the target with a single fire as well with full auto, which is quite good result considering that the replica is freshly taken out of the box. I think that after a good cleaning of the barrel and fitting some nice backing, the result could be even better. To sum up, the ELAK12 is a very good but not perfect replica. The steel construction and the fitting of the elements is mostly perfect. The pneumatics keeps the seal very well, and the replica is characterized by a very good performance straight from the box. I will personally replace the mentioned rear backing with, for example, a maple leaf macaron with a omega spacer and the piston with one with all metal teeth. Also a good cleaning and lobbing will be good for it. It will not hurt to mount a MOSFET as well. I'm not the fan of the AK platform, but I have to say that this replica made a big impression on me. If not for the stock, I would say it's built like a tank. Because everything except the stock itself, which I think can be easily fixed, sits super tight and there are no loose flying elements. It's a pity that there are no 4 fire modes and super quick change spring system like in the Arcturus, and the replica itself does not have any electronic fire control system, which is slowly becoming a standard, especially in this price range. And yes, the price. At the time when I made this review, at Gunfire the replica cost about 444 euros, unless you use my discount code for 12% discount. Then you will save over 50 euros and get the price of about 390 euros. The code can be found under the link in the video description. After playing with the replica, I can say that you can use it out of the box, and after some small upgrades you can make it even better. The replica itself is massive, well fitted, apart of the stock, and fires very well. And whether it's worth the money, I'll leave it up to you to judge. But if you're looking for a high quality full steel AK-12 replica, the ELAK12 can be a good choice for you. It will be all for today. Let me know in the comments if you liked today's review. And for now, thanks for watching and see you next time. Why did they give me the oiler? I don't get it. Maybe for BBs?